I'm continuing my reading, and what I'm doing in this series is to read through the entire standard works of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This consists of the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the Doctrine and Covenants, and the Pearl of Great Price. I am reading in a chronological order of events, not according to publication or volume, so I will be skipping around a little bit as I move along. Right now, I am in the book of 1 Samuel. This is chapter 19, and just previously to this, David marries Saul's daughter, but Saul continually, his resentment and anger and jealousy of David continues to grow. Now, I do want to say that, as I mentioned before, there does seem to be an actual mental imbalance in Saul. I almost think that becoming king snapped something in his mind and kind of made him schizophrenic. And I could be even misusing the terms. I'm not a professional when it comes to mental illness, so schizophrenia might not be the right diagnosis, but something like that, something very much in his mind that makes him this way. I don't know if that really is or if he was just becoming evil, but I think that there really was a mental break in Saul. Anyways, we're going to get chapter 19 of the first book of Samuel. Let us read this. Saul seeks to kill David. Michal saves David by artifice. David joins Samuel and the company of prophets. Okay. And Saul spake to Jonathan his son and to all his servants that they should kill David. But Jonathan, Saul's son, delighted much in David. And Jonathan told David, saying, Saul my father seeketh to kill thee. Now therefore I pray thee, take heed to thyself until morning, and abide in a secret place, and hide thyself. And I will go out and stand beside my father in the field where thou art, and I will commune with my father of thee, and what I see, that I will tell thee. So Jonathan's helping him escape, saying, look, you go hide, and we'll bring my father out where you're hiding so you can overhear our conversation, and you can understand what's going on. So verse 4, And Jonathan spake good of David unto Saul his father, and said unto him, Let not the king sin against his servant, against David, because he hath not sinned against thee, and because his works have been to thee-ward very good. For he did put his life in his hand, and slew the Philistine, and the Lord wrought a great salvation for all Israel. Thou sawest it, and didst rejoice. Wherefore then wilt thou sin against innocent blood to slay David without a cause? And Saul hearkened unto the voice of Jonathan, and Saul sware, As the Lord liveth, he shall not be slain. And Jonathan called David, and Jonathan shewed him all those things. And Jonathan brought David to Saul, and he was in his presence as in times past. So Jonathan is able to kind of mollify Saul, and that's why I think that Saul really did have this mental break, because we see him kind of flip-flopping here. He's just vitriolic hatred for David. He's hunting him down, trying to kill him in the moment. But if you can get him and kind of talk him, reason with him a little bit, he will admit that what he's doing is wrong. He knows he's wrong. And he'll quit. He'll leave off doing it. He says, you're right, I got to stop doing this. And then a switch back, and he'll start hunting David again. This seems to me to be very much mental illness here. Anyways, David's back in the court. Verse 8, And there was war again, and David went out and fought with the Philistines, and slew them with a great slaughter, and they fled from him. And the evil spirit from the Lord was upon Saul, as he sat in his house, with his javelin in his hand, and David played with his hand. And Saul sought to smite David, even to the wall with the javelin, but he slipped away out of Saul's presence. And he smote the javelin into the wall, and David fled and escaped that night. Saul also sent messengers unto David's house to watch him, and to slay him in the morning. And Michal, David's wife, told him, saying, If thou save not thy life tonight, tomorrow thou shalt be slain. So what's going on here? This is interesting. There's another war. The Philistines come in and attack again. Saul sends David and his men out, and they have a great victory. But again, Saul becomes jealous of David. Now, I will say, there is this Joseph Smith translation. I forgot to mention the Joseph Smith translation. What this is an inspired translation or correction of the Bible done by Joseph Smith to restore those passages that had been lost over the years. In this one, we have another simple translation here, a simple correction in verse 9, where it said, the evil spirit from the Lord, again, as in the last two or three I think the last two chapters. Joseph Smith corrects this to be an evil spirit which was not of the Lord. Again, this is not something that God sent to Saul. God did not make Saul act in this evil way. But, again, this is the second time and again, as I said, it's this kind of in the moment, he becomes very violent towards David. He sees David returns victorious, and the people are praising him again, most likely. And he becomes, again, very jealous, very anxious, very, I don't know how to say it exactly, but and in the moment, he's after David. He sends people to David's house. Remember that. He sends people to the house so that when David comes out the next morning, they can kill him. And that's why his wife says, look, you got to escape tonight because there are men out there waiting for you to come out in the morning. Verse 12. So Michal let David down through a window, and he went and fled and escaped. And Michal took an image and laid it in the bed and put a pillow of goat's hair for his bolster and covered it with a cloth. And when Saul sent messengers to take David, she said, he is sick. And Saul sent the messengers again to see David, saying, bring him up to me in the bed, that I may slay him. And when the messengers were come in, behold, there was an image in the bed, with a pillow of goat's hair for his bolster. And Saul said unto Michal, why hast thou deceived me so, and sent away mine enemy, that he has escaped? And Michal answered Saul, he said unto me, let me go, why should I kill thee? So I like this. David, he sneaks out at night, and she pulls the old pillow trick in bed. She gets an image. This is a statue of it. She takes a statue, lays it in the bed, puts a pillow of goat's hair up there, and drapes the blanket over it so it looks like somebody's in the bed. The old pillow trick. The servants come in, and she says, oh, he's sick. Yeah, you can't come in right now. He's sick. So Saul says, no, you go in there, and you pick up the bed and bring him to me so I can kill him. And when he gets mad at Michal, when they find out that it is just an image, and he gets all mad at his daughter, saying, why will you help him? She says, well, he threatened me. I had to let him go because he threatened to kill me if I didn't. And that's how she saves herself. Now, we're going to finish out this chapter here. Verse 18. So David fled and escaped and came to Samuel to Ramah and told him all that Saul had done to him. And he and Samuel went and dwelt in Naioth. And it was told Saul, saying, behold, David is at Naioth in Ramah. And Saul sent messengers to take David. And when they saw the company of the prophets prophesying, and Samuel standing as appointed over them, the Spirit of God was upon the messengers of Saul, and they also prophesied. And when it was told Saul, he sent other messengers, and they prophesied likewise. And Saul sent messengers again the third time, and they prophesied also. Then went he also to Ramah, and came to a great well that is in Secu. And he asked and said, where are Samuel and David? And one said, behold, they be at Naioth in Ramah. And he went thither to Naioth in Ramah, and the Spirit of God was upon him also. And he went on and prophesied until he came to Naioth in Ramah. And he stripped off his clothes also, and prophesied before Samuel in like manner, and laid down naked all that day and all that night. Wherefore they say, is Saul also among the prophets? Now, this is a fun one. I have to kind of chuckle at this. David goes off and joins Samuel, kind of in hiding. Sam is a prophet. Samuel can protect him. Not only does Samuel have a lot of social power, he's got a lot of political power. Even though he's no longer the judge, people still listen to him. And he has the power of God with him. He's the prophet. You'll be safe there, right? I love that. Saul keeps sending messengers. When they get there, they just start prophesying. It's like, it's almost like Saul thinks they're turning on him. They're joining his enemies. But when Saul goes out personally, he's also overcome by the Spirit. And at this point, you got to wonder what Saul is thinking. As I say, it just seems to me that he had some kind of mental break that just was not doing fun to him. But it's just a funny thing that all these guys come in and they all start prophesying. Doesn't tell us what they prophesied. They just started prophesying. Anyways, we'll see you in the next one.